My name is Fushi Akram, and I gave CUET 2025 this year. My aggregate score was 925 out of 1000 after normalization. I'm here to talk about CUET mock and their mock test papers today. So, personally, I did not take CUET mock early on because I had already subscribed to a number of other platforms and other mock test papers. But when we got to know that our CUT 2025 was going to be postponed after 8 May, it's going to be on. I personally gave psychology mock on, I think 28th May. So, usse pehle I had subscribed to CUT mock. And let me tell you, I think CUT mock is one of the very few platforms where I got to know that there is so much written in my NCRT books, and I hadn't read through all of that. The best thing about CUT mock is that it actually takes the very minute details, the things that you may not read because you think it's not important, and they actually take that out and they form a question and then they ask you about it, which I found lacking in many of the other platforms. So that is one good thing. The second good thing, and I have a personal experience with this, in one of the psychology mock tests that I gave, a few questions I saw that they had not been correctly formulated, or the right answer was not given, or the wrong answers, or there and the right answer was not there. So I wrote to CET mock and their team responded within a day or two max. And I think that is what I like about coaching platforms these days, that you respond to the students' queries, because we are the ones actually studying, right? We know what is there in our textbook papers and we have studied in school. So it is very important when coaching centers respond to you. So that is the second thing. And third thing, which I think is very common, but I still have to point it out, is the way their questions have been formulated and the way they respond to you. So after I have completed my mock test papers, for example, for English, or you take, since I gave for humanities, so English, psychology, political science, and history. So all of those four subjects are humanities subjects, but still I do need some guidance when I'm answering a question. So when I've answered the question and I've not got it right, they come up with this very detailed explanation that is not just from your NCRT book, but it's sort of collated from different sources, and it gives you a perspective of where you've gone wrong. Suppose there's a date, then they tell you this is the exact NCRT page where we've taken from. Maybe you have to review this again. And this is the same with English also. In fact, I highly recommend, and this is what my seniors also told him, that you start preparing for English mock test, English CUET, way before you start preparing for other subjects, because English, as a test paper that I attempted, it has a wide syllabus. I mean, CUET on the platform, it says that, we're giving you antonyms, synonyms, we're giving you these type of questions. You get a rough idea of it, but you still need a lot of practice. And for that, I recommend that you start preparing for English way before everything else. I think way before your boards preparation as well. And you take it side by side, because when you go and actually give your CUET 2026 English, you will realize how many words you don't know, the number of questions that you are not able to find the answer of, because within 10 days, within 5 days, you cannot learn all the words available under the sun. You have to prepare, and yes, even after preparation, there is a very high 80% of chance that you will not know half of the words that CUT gives, but at least you'll have an idea. You'll at least have an idea of how to grasp the meaning of the word from the sentence that you're studying. So that is one thing. And second, with regards to CUT mock only, I think they were very precise with the kind of words that they gave for English. Now, for English, the kind of mock test papers that I gave for other platforms, I have to admit there were a lot of grammatical errors, which is quite ironical when I'm attempting English mock test papers. But with CUET, I did not have any kind of problem with that. I was able to attempt the questions. I did not score well in all the mock test papers, but I think that should be how it should be. So with English mock test papers, this was my experience, and I think one of the two questions, they did not exactly repeat, but they did provide me with the information, with the knowledge that I used to attempt most of the questions in my actual CUET of English. And with regards to how CUET 2026 aspirants should prepare, my only advice is, this is for arts and commerce students, also for I mean science students, I mean to a great extent. read your NCRTs very, very well. This is something that I stuck by for my boards preparations, for my pre-boards preparation, for my CUET preparation as well, and I scored in my boards 97.2%. So you have to understand that it is very important for you to read your NCRTs very well. History, I have lost count the number of times I've read those three books. Political science, I have completely lost count. I do remember the dates still because the number of times that I've read it, and I did not just read. I whenever I saw that this is something, okay, this has changed, especially in the political science area, things change. Things keep on changing every single day in the political arena. So you have to go on the internet, you have to find out what's the current scenario going, because even in that case, there can be a case where CUT can ask you a little bit of, current affairs, that okay, what is the scenario of this going on right now? What is happening with this? So that is important. And especially in political science and history, I think both of those two subjects, be very, very careful to read about the boxes. Read the boxes very well. In fact, I may say that before you go for a CUET, review the boxes once again, review them thoroughly, because the amount of information that they have is what the CUET eyes. I will tell you, I got more than nine questions, I can say, or even 10 questions just from those boxes in history as well as in political science. In fact, one of the questions that I did get right in history was from the one of the boxes, and I was not sure about it. So thankfully, I got it right. And my last advice would be, this is also something I've experienced, be very, very prepared for the normalization that's about to happen. It will, to use a very frank term, it will suck, I know. But you understand that that's how the CUT platform is designed. That's how it's going to go. So once normalization happens, you cannot do anything. But itna, I did not experience itna fark, but it will happen. So you should not let your spirits down about it, because at the end of the day, you did study, you did get the marks that you studied for, and that's all that matters. And I think you'll get the college. So ending it with the fact that CUET mock as a platform did help me a lot. And one thing I would like to point out, their prices are not very expensive compared to other platforms. You may think, okay, that this is giving for this, I get this package for this much, I get this package for this much. But there is a stark difference in the quality of the mock test papers package that you're getting. And I experienced this the hard way. I learned this the hard way, which is why I finally resorted to CUT mock. And they gave me one of the best preparation strategies, best mock tests that I could find. All the best. Thank you so much.